If you double your leads, you double your martial arts school's growth. In this video, I'm gonna go over what you can do to get more leads coming in from your ads so you can grow your martial arts school much faster. So the whole goal when running ads is to find a winning ad. A winning ad is an ad that generates you a lot of high quality leads that convert into paying students. I'm sure at some point in time, if you've ran ads before, you've had a specific ad that's generated you a lot of good results. Maybe it ran for weeks, maybe it ran for months, but that one ad carried your ad campaign's performance for quite a while. But then eventually, every ad has a shelf life and it fatigues over time. And once that ad died out, your ad campaign's performance died out with it. Now, if a winning ad drives a majority of your ad campaign's performance and has the potential to grow your martial arts school much faster, what's the key to getting better results with ads? Finding more winning ads. But how do you do it? I know it sounds pretty simple, but if it was simple, everybody would be finding winning ads and growing much faster. Well, data shows that only 10% of the ad creatives you put out convert into winning ads. So if you only have a 10% probability of finding a winning ad, then how do you find more winning ads? You need to test a lot more ad creatives. There's lots of research that shows the top 1% of advertisers on Meta test 50 to 100 times more ad creatives than everybody else. And that's a type of work you need to put in if you want to get really good results. You see, the average martial arts school only puts out about 5, maybe 10 new ad creatives a month, and that's why their performance is what it is. Whereas the top advertisers I know, they're testing upwards of 200 unique ad creatives every single week. And again, that's a difference between beginners, people getting mediocre results, and the top 1% who are making bucket loads of money from these ad platforms. Now, I'm not saying you need to start producing 200 ads per week, but the point is, if you want to get more leads from your ads, you need to find more winning ads. And in order to find more winning ads, if only 10% of the ads you test have a probability of converting into a winning ad, then you need to test a lot more ad creatives. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to actually create a system in your business to constantly test new ad creatives. So you can feed Meta's algorithm with a constant stream of unique creatives, photos and videos. And so you can bring your cost per lead down so you can get more leads and better qualified leads without spending an extra penny on your ads. So the first thing you want to do is schedule a day every single week to actually record your new content. If you don't schedule it and it's just something that's an afterthought, then you're not going to make it a priority and you're not going to be consistent with producing new ad creatives. Now, really, if you just schedule anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per week, you can get a good amount of ad creatives recorded in that time. Next up is every single week, you want to come up with new ideas for ways that you can basically show people the value of your program. So if you're marketing your kids' martial arts program, who's your ideal customer? It's parents. So you want to think about what are all the ways through content I can show parents the value of my program. So some types of content might be educational content, educating parents on how martial arts isn't just about kicks and punches, but the life skills component is where kids get majority of the value that sets them up for a brighter future. And you can make videos about every single one of those things. You can make videos showing what your classes entails and showing highlights of your classes, showing testimonials of kids, testimonials of parents. You can have videos of different instructors. And you basically just want to think about, again, all the ways that you can show parents the value of your program. Your content should be a good representation of what people will experience when they come through the doors. And that's the part that most martial arts schools are not executing well nowadays, is they work with companies or they just use ChatGPT and other AI platforms to create these generic AI cartoony looking graphics and just very generic ads that, might generate a good amount of leads, but most of the leads are low quality, they're from out of state, they never answer, they don't even remember signing up sometimes when you call them. And that's because that content isn't a good representation of your school and attracts the wrong types of people. So it's very important when you're creating content every single week, you need to script out content and come up with ideas that actually represents the quality of what you do. One exercise you can do is you want to think about all the reasons why somebody would sign up for your program. So for kids martial arts, for example, what are all the reasons? Well, one reason might be discipline, right, for kids. One reason might be confidence. One reason might be focus, improving children's listening skills. One reason might be helping them get better grades at school through the life skills you instill. One reason could be getting them off their screens, self-defense, protecting them from bullying, protecting them from strangers when you're not there to protect them, setting them up for a brighter future. It could just be the fitness aspect, it could be the community aspect, it could be just having a fun activity. So you want to come up with as many reasons as possible for why a parent should enroll their children at your school. And then for every single one of those reasons, you can create an ad script about that specific reason. So for example, if you're creating an ad script around looking for a fun activity, the structure of any ad is you want to start with a hook. So the first 3 seconds, usually 3 to 5 seconds, calling out at the audience, targeting their pain point or whatever their goal is. And you basically just want them to be like, oh, this is me and he's saying exactly, or she's saying exactly what I'm currently thinking or experiencing. So if it's a fun activity, parents in San Francisco, are you looking for a fun and exciting activity for your kids this year? Then you want to move into the body of the ad. The body is like the main meat of your ad. In the body, you want to talk about basically why anybody should listen to you, and you want to build trust, educate them more about your program. Well, bring them by ABC Martial Arts. In our program, a lot of parents think martial arts is just about kicks and punches, but in our program, we teach kids valuable life skills like focus, respect, and discipline, all while they have a blast learning fun martial arts techniques with their friends. So that's the meat of the ad. Then you want to have the call to action. We would love to have you come experience our program so you can see for yourself the difference that martial arts can make in your child's life. To get started, just click the button below, fill out a form, and then schedule your child's first free trial class. We look forward to seeing you soon. So any ad that you make, you want to have that structure: hook, the call out, body, the meat of your ad, and then call to action, basically telling them what to do at the end. And you want to repeat that structure for every single reason why a parent should enroll their kids at your school. So you can do one for discipline, one for focus, one for screen time, one for bullying. And what happens is when you're creating a lot of different unique ad creatives and feeding Meta's algorithm with it, you're going to give yourself a higher probability of finding winning ads and improving your ad campaign's performance. The other benefit of creating content like this is you have a lot of unique angles for your content. You're not just, launching 20 graphics, all just saying free trial class or 2 weeks for $49, because it's all around the same reason why somebody would enroll, which is purely just offer based. You're not doing anything to actually build an emotional connection with somebody before they opt in, and that's why you get the low quality leads. Whereas what happens nowadays with Meta, especially with their recent Andromeda update that came out last year, is basically your ad creatives are your new targeting. Previous to this, you would basically define your targeting in your ad sets. You'd say, okay, 3 to 5 mile radius, target these ages, target these interests. And although you can still do that, what makes a much bigger impact in your targeting nowadays is your ad creatives. Every time you put out an ad creative, Meta scans your ad creative to to basically analyze the messaging in your ad, so who you're calling out to and what the main point of the ad is. And then they also scan, the avatar, who's actually, in the ad, and like the general environment of the ad, where you're at. And based on them scanning your ad, they'll serve your ad to somebody who's currently, experiencing that, that specific pain point or goal. So what happens is, when you list all of the different reasons why somebody should enroll at your martial arts school, and then you create ads around every single one of those reasons, and you create a lot of different unique content around every single one of those reasons, and you put them out there, now you're basically giving Meta lots of different pathways to drive people towards your business. Instead of everything just being based off of one reason, which is like a offer, like a free trial or like a paid trial or something, which majority of martial arts schools do, you're going a layer deeper. You're building an emotional connection. You're targeting their pain points. You're targeting what their desired future states are, their goals are. And now, Meta knows more about you than you know about yourself. They have over like 30, 40,000 data points on every single person. So they know when a parent is, going through like a certain, problem, or what their mind states are. And if they, know that somebody's like looking up certain types of content or in a certain mind state, they will serve them that specific ad of yours. Now it's hyper relevant, and that parent will have a much higher chance of, converting on that ad. And when you're hyper launching all of these different ads, instead of just making 5 or 10 ads a month that only have a 10% chance of converting into a winning ad, if you're producing, let's say 10 ads a week, well, now instead of finding maybe one winning ad a month or one every 2 months, you're gonna be finding 4 per month. And now your school is gonna be growing significantly faster because of that. So that's the whole game nowadays. It's how do you produce more ad creatives and / better ad creatives. You don't want to just pump out a bunch of BS content that is like AI slop and nobody's going to resonate with. That's why I started this by saying each piece of content you put out should be a good representation of your martial arts school. So if you want to improve your results, you need to make sure this isn't a one-off thing, but it's a systemized action you do in your business. And this is a very high leverage action if you want to move your business forward. Think about what would happen to your martial arts school if you had double the amount of leads coming in right now. If nothing else changed, your school would grow 2 times faster if you maintain the exact same lead to student conversion rate. And imagine what impact that would have on your business over the next 12 months. What impact would that have on, your community, the amount of extra lives you can change, on your staff, being able to pay them better, on your family, being able to provide them with a better life. So this is a very high leverage action to take, and it shouldn't be an afterthought. It shouldn't be something that, you just do every once in a while and you're just stuck working in the business and just teaching the classes and expecting things to miraculously change. You need to allocate time to work, on your business, not just in it, if you want to, move your business forward. So systemize time once a week, allocate time once a week, and create a system around coming up with new content ideas and then recording new content every single week. And look, you're not going to be great at it when you first start, but the more reps you put in, as with anything in life, the better you're going to get. And imagine how much faster you will get better at the skill of content creation if you're creating upwards of 10 unique pieces of content per week versus 5 to 10 per month. You will improve significantly faster, and the better you get at content creation, the higher the probability is that you'll find winning ads. And the more winning ads you find, the faster your martial arts school will grow. So main takeaways for this video is your content is the #1 factor in not only how many leads you get from your ads, but also the quality of your leads. If you want to improve your lead volume and your lead quality, you need to create a system where you're producing new content every single week. In order to produce content, first start with the program you want to market, list all the different reasons why somebody would enroll, and then create ad scripts using the hook, body, and call to action method you can come up with other fun ideas as well, like showing highlights of your classes, showing testimonials of parents, showing testimonials of children, and anything else that you think would be a good representation of your school. And then you just want to put the reps in. Create the content every single week, add it to your ad campaign. Go in with the expectation that majority of the content you put out is not going to perform well, but it's just a numbers game, and it's just about finding that one winning ad every week or every couple weeks to really drive up your performance. And as long as you stick to that method and to that system, you're going to produce way more ad creatives. Your ad creatives will get better week after week, and your school will grow faster. So that's it for this video, guys. Appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next one.